Hello everyone, I hope you had a very good Christmas and that you're all enjoying your new lens mugs. So 2024 is kind of fast approaching, right? And depending on your outlook, it's either some sort of shadowy monster looming behind the corner or it's ready to embrace you with open arms. I'm going to try and treat it as a year of opportunity, and I mean opportunity to do something with this YouTube channel. The first thing is just to have an actual upload schedule. I don't want to say I'm going to do a video every week because some projects are bigger than others. Like a review of a lens takes a lot longer to do than a POV style vlog, right? Just because I need to do more testing of the lens and that kind of stuff. Basically, I'm aiming for about a video a week, but some weeks there won't be anything because I might be abroad, I might be working on a bigger project, or it might just be Christmas and I didn't do a video last week because it was Christmas. Yeah, and some projects are just bigger than others. My plan is to have that video upload at 3 PM Irish time, so upload is complete for then. I don't know how well that's going to work. I just know that from consuming YouTube, that if a YouTube video gets uploaded like Wednesday or Thursday, I'll probably save it to my watch later so that then I can view it on Friday. Or I'll just watch it if I see it on Friday. But that is my kind of upload schedule going forward. So content types. I want to do more reviews. And I don't mean going into like a lab where I have a big grid on the wall and I take a photo and then I'm like comparing how an image looks at f5.6 and f6.3. There are plenty of people out there that do that and they do it very well and it's very useful content. But that's not how I look at gear. If I want to buy some gear, and I don't think that's how I want to put myself out there as reviewing gear. Like in my G9 review, I didn't really go on about the image quality all that much, but a big thing for me was the ergonomics of the camera. And that's something I want to discuss more, kind of like that kind of authentic, real world, what is this gear actually like? So I want to do more bodies, I want to do more lenses. The next video is going to be a review of this Olympus 30mm macro lens that got delivered to the wrong address and I had to drive 6 hours to get. And then the video after that, a little sneak peek, is going to be a review of the cheapest Micro Four Thirds setup I could find. This is the Lumix GF3 with the Olympus 15mm f8 on it. And at the time I bought it, it was the cheapest interchangeable body and lens combo on MPB. And I also want to review more lenses. What's really been catching my eye are the pancake primes. So the like 14mm, 17mm, and 20mm by Lumix, Olympus, Lumix. Because they're kind of small and I kind of like that. I want to also just test older gear in the modern day. So like I did with my DJI Mini 2 where I talked about it and then the Mini 4 got announced and then people were looking at the Mini 2, so that video did quite well. Like I said, being authentic is quite important for me here. I don't want to be like a scientist telling you statistics and specs. I want to be like a friend who... I want to be like when you ask your friend who got the equipment what it's like. As for other types of content, I want to do a series on Lightroom alternatives. Like, I use Lightroom Creative Cloud, like the actual cloud version of Lightroom, and I even pay the extra money to get the terabyte of cloud storage. But I know that for people starting out, having that, I think it's like €12 a month for the cheapest tier, is kind of... They might be a bit apprehensive about getting into a year-long subscription just for starting out. Or they might quite rightly be apprehensive about subscription-based models anyway. I want to test out alternatives to Lightroom. So Darktable is the one that looks kind of most promising. There's a very big community about it. It's open source. It's free. You can run it on pretty much anything, Mac, Windows, Linux. And these will kind of be a review, but I'll also kind of show like me going into the software completely blind, not knowing what I'm doing. I'll then actually go and use resources to learn the software, and then I'll review it. I'll see what I liked, what I didn't, how it worked for me, how it fit in my workflow. And I'm not limiting myself just to desktop apps here as well. I want to look at the Apple Photos application. I want to look at Snapseed on the phone. See what there actually is for editing photos. Because editing is half of modern photography. I want to do more POV vlogs and I want to do more like POV kind of photo vlog style things. This ties in with the gear reviews a bit just because for all I would watch reviews of a lens I want to buy, I'd also see what people are actually shooting with it out in the field. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not in the best shape physically, so any excuse to go outside and walk around a bit is probably gonna do me the world of good. There's a lot of cool places I want to go and photograph, and quite often it's not even about the place. When I went to the wetlands park, I went there like at 2 different weeks, and just the difference there was immense with how the leaves were. And I shot with 2 different lenses. I shot with my 25mm and then my 100-300, so you get different images. And this kind of ties into a big project I've been planning for a while. So Ireland is broken up into counties, right? And each county has a lot to offer. So I live in County Mayo, which is in the west of Ireland. And just here alone, we've got some of the best beaches in the country. We've got forests, we've got historical monuments, we've got really interesting towns with cool architecture, and just cool little rivers and parks and all that kind of stuff. So I'm planning a series called Fake and Jaron, which is Oscuelga for looking at Ireland or watching Ireland. It kind of depends how you translate it. And the idea is that each county would be an episode in this series, and each episode would be like 20 to 30 minutes, where I go to all these places in a county that have the kind of essence of the county, right? And I photograph them. And it won't all be GoPro footage. My plan is to almost produce this like a TV show, where I'm sort of like the host, and while I'm going there to photograph the county, I'll be talking about my photography approach, the gear I'm using, what it's like being there in the county. I'll probably go to like a local coffee shop and get like lunch there and photograph that. I'll ask them if there's any cool places to go and photograph, like where they think. Because if you look at all the like top 10 things to do while you're in Ireland, it's like going to New York just to go to Times Square, right? And there's so many other things to do in New York, but everyone's like, Times Square, Times Square, Times Square. And that's kind of like that with Ireland. Everyone's like, Cliffs of Moher and Giant's Causeway. And no, there's so many cool places. And I want to collaborate with other photographers to do that. So if you live in Ireland and that's something you would be interested in appearing on, or you just want to collaborate in general, I have my email in the description down below. It's business.elifarnhill@gmail.com. Get in touch and we can plan something. But before I jump straight in with that whole series, I'm going to do one for Mayo. I'm going to fully produce it as if I'm going to commit to this series and just see what it's like for the effort and everything like that. But I think it is actually a really cool idea. If you'd be interested in kind of seeing that, please let me know. I'd actually like to get a kind of gauge people's reaction on that. But that's all the content I have planned for 2024. And a last thing that I'd like to do is, I've got presets that I've been working on for a while, and I'd like to make them available to people. And my first thought was, as a Patreon, I've been thinking about how, if my channel grows a lot, I would like to have a Patreon at some point or something similar. I was even coming up with names for the tiers, so we could have like point and shoot, DSLR, mirrorless. And I was thinking one of those tiers could be, you get maybe like a phone background and a desktop background, but also a preset a month. I don't know. That's something I've been mulling over, and I'm definitely not at a point with this channel where I'm gonna do that yet. That's all my plans for 2024. So the next video, like I said, is gonna be a review of this 30mm lens, and then also the cheapest Micro Four Thirds setup. That's coming soon as well. And I was gonna say, if these video ideas sound appealing and you'd like to see them, be sure to subscribe. But I'm pretty sure that anyone who's at this point in the video and still watching on a channel plans video is probably already subscribed. So I want to just say thank you to everyone that has subscribed. And lastly, I want to give a big thanks to my old housemate and good friend, who I'm not going to say his name, but he was always, if I came and I was like, yeah, I've got this idea for a YouTube video I could do, just do it. And I did. That's why the Rubik's Cube one happened all that while ago. And it's quite cool to go into like my YouTube analytics and see that the people that watch my content watch the YouTubers I watch. That's certainly kind of fun and interesting. I'm gonna go and fill my lens cup up a bit more. I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas. I hope everyone has a great New Year. And yeah, cheers.